In the previous lesson, we created a folder structure in our project files folder here in the Project Manager pod. And I mentioned that this can come in handy later on if you're creating a table of contents, that is, automatically creating one based on this folder structure. So if you were following along with me, you'll notice I've added an extra folder here called Courses, and I've added some topics to that Courses folder. And as we scroll down, you can see I've got things in the order that I want. And this is important. First of all, you'll want to make sure that your topics are in the right order. So for example, if you were to move one of these above welcome and welcome needs to go first, you want to make sure that it's the first topic. You can collapse these to get a better look at the order. Same thing goes for your folders. If courses is showing up ahead of general information, that's not really what you want. So just click and drag the folder until the green arrow appears above the folder where you want it. And then once you've got the order and everything looks the way you want, it's time to automatically generate a table of contents based on this structure. And all we do is make sure we go to the table of contents pod over here, right to the right of our project manager by default. And if you're not viewing it, go to your view menu to make sure you are. And you can see we haven't actually created any TOC books or anything here. It's blank. If we scroll down the project manager pod and go to table of contents and click the plus sign, of course there is a how to use LDC default table of contents, but there's nothing in it. Notice the icon here and the way it looks. This is representative of a table of contents, and there's also a button here on the toolbar inside the table of contents pod to auto create a TOC, and that's what we're going to click now. Now this little dialog appears indicating we're about to automatically create TOC books that are based on the folders that you set up in your project manager. Notice also that TOC pages are going to be created inside each book that's based on the topics that you placed inside those folders. There's a couple of checkboxes for deleting a current TOC if you had one. It doesn't apply to us. And there's also one for creating TOC pages for mid-topic links. We haven't got into bookmarks yet, so it really doesn't apply either. So we can deselect that and then click OK. When you click the OK button, it doesn't take very long. And you can see it's actually created our TOC books that we can expand. There's general information. And as we click the plus sign next to courses and navigation, you can see it's totally mimicked our project manager folder structure over here in our project manager pod. That's very quick, a lot faster than creating TOC books and moving topics into those books. A nice little feature here as part of WebHelp 9 reinforces the importance of using the project manager pod and setting up these folders to stay organized.